All right, so now we are going to clean the grout lines and the tile beneath the urinals, as well as obviously just the floor in the bathroom itself. You can see here we have the extension wands and the single hole nozzle and a 1-inch brass brush. That is going to be something that you use whether you have the steam vacuum or just the steamer only. So keep that in mind that you're going to use a single hole nozzle with your extensions. You're just going to have to somehow mop the mess up. So whether it be with a towel or a mop of sorts, anything like that. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the importance of kind of taking your time. Again, that first time we clean with steam is always the worst. It's the slowest. But the big thing is actually getting to the grout lines, getting them hot enough to really open the pores and push out all that dirt and that grime. Also smells, right? Obviously, lots of people miss the toilet when they're standing over the urinals. So it's a big deal to really clean that, sanitize it, sterilize it. And by getting it really hot, you're going to do that. It won't hurt the grout. It won't hurt the tile. So that's a big thing to help get rid of smells in bathrooms as you're offering that to your customer or even for your business yourself. So the first time we always do a little water purge. Now we got steam, and then we're just going to clean. So you can see I'm not pushing very hard at all. The goal here is to simply let the steam and the pressure from it do the work for you and not you, right? Minimal effort, physical effort anyway. And you can see it just blowing the dirt out of the grout lines here. So as we're doing this, I always recommend when you clean with the grout lines that you stay in kind of a 3x3 area. So three rows of tiles left and right, north and south. And the big thing about that is going to allow you to not let that dirt that you turn loose come back into the grout line. And you can actually steam it up using the vacuum attachment, which we're going to put on here in just a second. All right, so what were we, about 30 seconds there, give or take? We've actually cleaned the grout lines themselves. Now we're going to take the floor brush, swap that out, and we're going to put that on, and we are going to vacuum up the mess. So floor brush, obviously interchanges with the extraction, no big deal, or excuse me, exchanges with all the attachments, the extension ones. So the floor brush has steam holes along this line. It's got kind of a squeegee concept, and then the nylon bristles. So the goal is it's actually going to scrub and use those squeegees to kind of suck up that mess. So when using this, the key is always to kind of reach and pull. So you're always going to go away from yourself and then pull back. And that's going to scrub as well as take the squeegees and push the water into the vacuum receptacle, if you will, and allow it to actually suck up and clean up the mess. So, and again, if you're using a regular steamer, you're just going to take a towel, some sort of mop, and mop that out. So we're going to turn the vacuum on and pull the trigger for the steam. We're going to get the steam out, as you can see, and then we're going to reach and pull, and reach and pull. And now let's say you have some heavy buildup, kind of put the brush on its heel and pull the trigger and scrub, right? Kind of scrub that dirt loose. And then, same thing, reach, squeegees down and pull. Sometimes I'll go in a diagonal, kind of a 45-degree method. That seems to help with kind of getting some of the residual. Another thing to do is let off the steam trigger like I just did there. And now I'm just vacuuming and squeegeeing it only, nothing else. And that'll help get some of that mess out a lot faster. So another thing, just because we have a long 10-foot hose, we've got the extensions themselves, keep in mind that when you want to vacuum, I always like to do this, turn the wand upside down, let it kind of run down the hose for a few seconds and get it into the tank. Otherwise, you'll have some pour back out a little bit. Make a little bit of a mess. So you're doubling your workload. So that is pretty much it when it comes to cleaning around the urinals, right? We touched on the back tile, if you will, the backsplash. You can get the grout lines. Obviously, these very fine 1/8-inch grout lines can be very cumbersome. Sometimes even without a brush is really effective. So if you have trouble with the brush itself, just pop it off and get the nozzle right up against it. Again, as we showed, we clean the handle here and all the attachments to the wall using the brush. You can do it again without. The brush just helps agitate, physically agitate that surface. And then lastly, we went through here and in those areas that are really hard to reach, right? So use the pressure, the heat, and really push all that mess out. And then you can see here we left a little bit of remnant, so a quick clean will knock that out. So we'll go in and follow up with a single hole nozzle and just blow that down into the drain and flush the toilet, and we're good to go there. And then as we get down to the floor, again, the grout lines using the grout brush, single hole nozzle, and then we use the floor brush and the vacuum attachment to suck it all back up. So now we're gonna go into showing you how to clean the toilet and maybe a few other areas in the bathroom and go from there.